Welcome to the
ninth episode. Oh, hold on. You're all wearing Hawaiian, right?
It's like you didn't even get the hint of the message I sent you guys. Like that was why I was like, "Hey, look what I found. Let's do it."
You want me to put it on? Did you get?
No.
Okay. Too late now.
Please put on a Hawaiian shirt. I actually don't have a demo for today.
That's okay. Ahmed said he did, so that's what we're gonna roll with. We're gonna see unqork it again. I wasn't trying to look like a super pale goblin in the video. Just irregularly pale, you know.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
I wanna commend your dedication to the show and like you were willing to risk your setup to go get that Hawaiian shirt. So.
Exactly. There you go.
I applaud that as well.
Namaste. I haven't been in a new masquerade yet.
Well, the new masquerade is like
Underground, I
like
think.
they're on top of like underground, where like underground Atlanta was. So.
Yeah, I have not been. I've heard about it.
I've been a couple of times. It's okay.
Oh, really? Okay, I gotta try it, man. Because one of the guys I used to work with, he used to be in a band and used to play in a new masquerade. Mm-hmm. And he always explained to me how to get there, and I'm pretty sure I've passed it twice or three times by now, but I'm not sure where is
like it. If you get off at the 5 Points MARTA station
mm-hmm.
and leave the station, it's like maybe 100 yards away from you. It's super close.
Oh, they moved it like downtown?
Yeah, it's like in downtown.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I can't think of it. It's got another name to it, but like as you're walking down the steps or taking the elevator, like you see like where like all the old shopping space was for like underground Atlanta and all that, because you know that was a super popular, and I'm super popular. But yeah, like they moved all that stuff up level, and then they just like the masquerade's just down there. Last time I was there, it was by itself. It felt like there was nothing else down there.
Yeah. Yeah. Weird. To the 9th episode.
Welcome to.
Out of nowhere.
Did you steal Dom's line though?
Which one? Dom?
Dom had the 9th. You're just episode.
Sorry.
But I like it. It's a little
episode.
Welcome to, and then like Dom would come in with the 9th, and then that's just the game of the show now. That's
it's all about the editing later. Yeah, but it's trying to surprise you guys.
Welcome to
the 9th
episode.
Hey, all right.
I like it. Now it's really lively. Yeah. So what about anybody's interested in seeing the new movie Borat, the Borat movie?
Oh, I'm excited about that.
I want to see it. I think somebody told me today, like it's been released on Amazon. So I'm like, all right, I'll have to.
You know, I looked for it yesterday. I couldn't find it. I found the trailer, but I couldn't find the real movie.
All right, we're gonna.
I haven't looked. I thought it
do a little research on the new Borat movie.
Yeah, I thought it's already out, man. I was like really looking forward yesterday, and not.
It says maybe it's the 23rd. So tomorrow.
I thought it's the 30th. Like,
I mean, Google is saying that this Amazon product releases on the 23rd, and they wouldn't lie about a competitor.
I know, yeah, that's true. I mean, anyway, when it first came out, I was going to say we can see a viewing. I was hoping to see it yesterday, and we can comment about it today. But anyway, we can see it when it's come out, and we can.
Did you guys hear about Rudy Giuliani?
I have heard some of the stuff about it. It doesn't surprise me because he's a interesting character.
Are you guys talking about pictures that he was saying that he found some pictures?
Like he's in it.
He's in the movie. He's in Borat.
Oh, really? Shit, yeah. I gotta see that then.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get himself in a little hot water.
Yeah.
Oh, he said some probably.
I think he had some inappropriate actions, or he was doing some inappropriate things. So.
Interesting. And Amazon will still post that movie, risk it, right?
I don't think it was like, I don't know the full extent of it, so I can't speak to it fully, but it's just like, clearly it wasn't, it should embarrass Rudy Giuliani if he's a normal person, which some days I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I don't think it was anything like super explicit or anything. So.
Gotcha. Well, now I want to see the movie. Dom told me.
Giuliani's in it. Of course, I want to see it. But first, before we get to that, welcome to
The Nine
episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not going to
episode
at all.
You know, I might have to repeat that.
Welcome
Okay.
to.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I did Dom finish it? I said it.
Yeah, Dom, your turn.
Wait.
Okay, let's start it over again. Let's do it again. Let's start from the beginning.
Welcome to
The Nine
episode. We got to repeat the ninth because the ninth did not came to. But anyway, I love the energy. I love the energy.
I have to keep that up.
Exactly. Well, I do have a demo for. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just during it, just feel free whenever you feel like the energy's starting to dip. Just say your line, and we'll finish the sentence somehow.
Yeah, I like that. So the ninth must be the big one. But you know what? Like
Special.
The special.
I am ready for this demo.
Okay, sir. Let's do it. Before we start the demo, Dom told me that Sasha almost died twice in that movie, right? He got 2 calls, right? 2 close calls, I think, right?
I said that?
I thought so. I thought he said that. No?
Mm.
Okay. Maybe not Dom. Somebody told me that this movie, during the filming of that movie, there was 2 close calls for Sasha Cohen. But anyway, so that's why I want to see it and see what the heck is going on with that movie. Anyway, guys, this is today. Demo is going to be about unqork. It can be a little bit more than this, but you guys know about unqork a little bit, right? What it's about and all that stuff.
Yeah, you've shown it to us on this show.
What? Okay. So
Yeah.
I failed to share demo last time. I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. I was gonna build it from scratch, but I just took a shortcut and just gonna see. I'm gonna show you guys with one. I don't know why it's not showing my screen. So now we're sharing my. So here I just built. I went to the free account. Basically, went to training unqork.io, which is a free area. You have to sign up for it, but when you get access, you can do kind of free training area, And there's something called the Unqork Academy, where you can learn a little bit more. But in a nutshell, what I have here is something called the workflow. So everything here is either you can see a workflow component, or you can see also data. You can store data as well in this thing. So any workflow need to have a start, an end. And in this guy, I started something called Atlanta Diff Talk subscribe. And when I open the code here, I created something very quick. Boom. And it's loading. I think my session might time out. So.
Before we continue, what is the underlying technology?
Okay, so it was written basically it was written before in Angular, and they have MongoDB in the backend, and it's cloud-based. However, now they're rewriting the whole code with React.js. So there's a newer version of the tool, and it's using React. So they have changed everything else. So this is the best technology. And actually, I will dip into the code a little bit later to show you some cheat sheets that I learned throughout my working with these tools. So just to see if you guys a hassle on this reloading, it might be because my network. A debate is going on right now online. That's why things are slower in the internets.
You're hosting the debate?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I told Biden not to talk too loud. I'm just kidding. So,
I mean, I'm just.
but cheat sheet I got here, the open, like basically the code. So in my workflow, I'm editing now one of the components. The good thing about this thing, I can hit more. Wow, my internet connection is really sucky right now. So the good thing, I can open my components and tag them. So for example, if I have, if you're a company, right? Let's say you are company A, you have 5 teams working. Each team can tag their own workflow and component with tags. So when they're working, they can only work with their tags. Oh, yeah, internet is not responding. So, but now they have a new concept called workspace, which is in beta mode. So I'm trying it right now. Basically, like any project, you can create workspace. You're going to call it whatever, Dom and Steven and Ahmed, like maybe Dev Talk. Then you can add all your workflows and your components in that workspace. So when you go to the workspace, you only see your things, which is a lot better. I'm not sure if it's something is killing my network connection. Every time I do this happens. Okay. Okay. So it worked now. So you see the tag. I have Atlanta Div Talk tag and my testing account, AG, my initials test. I have other projects going on in that site. So basically, I put a kind of control called site, number of hits. So enter your site, and you can see is followed by .com. So I can put $, USD, whatever. I hit a pound for number of hits. Then I said, like, you know what? I have a drop down of times. I said, like, my hits weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly will have some calculation. So here is the magic. I have multiple kind of things going on here. When there's an initiate control, and what's happening, if this thing is responding, I have a list of controls here, and each one of them is doing some one thing, one thing only. For example, I have an initiator. Every time I put initiate, it will ask me, do you want me, when you initiate the page, I will execute certain actions. Sometimes I'll say, when I initiate a new workflow, then I'll do something different. Or I say, if I initiate or edit a workflow, I want to do these actions. So now I have an automatic initiator. Sorry guys, I might have to shut down the browser, restart again. That might kill. I might have to just, oh God, that's probably gonna kill my demo. I might have to re-demo this from the beginning. So let's kill this.
Huh. Welcome to
the night
episode.
There he is. All right. Just gonna little endorphin rush.
Yeah, so this reminds me a lot of the stuff that I do in Dynamics.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
It doesn't generate a site. I mean, I guess it's one of the things you can do, but this is very similar to the Microsoft workflows, the Power Apps.
Because Ahmed, isn't Unqork more like a CRM more than a CMS?
Yes, it's more than that, more than a CMS, because the CMS only for styling, right? Content management. Well, you can maybe CRM, I think, but I say to me, it's a non-code platform. You can do coding, and you can.
We talked about this on one of the. We don't talk about that kind of stuff on this show.
No, sure. I'll be honest with you. After using it, I get the attraction of it. It's pretty fast, pretty quick, and you just focus in the problem domain. You don't waste your time by anything else. So, for example, here, let's do this here. So basically, I created a couple of things here. I said there's different panels. For best practices, I can do panels. I can expand them and hide them, and they have content in them. I have several controls. I have the primary controls. I have secondary controls, and these controls are smart. I mean, the phone number will get you the digital phone number. The address will give you address and you can type ahead. For example, I'm going to drop an address here component for testing. So it would be like this. Maybe I'll drop it in this control in that panel. Now I have the address here. So I'll call it address, and I'll save it. So here I can type it, I will see that how it works. So there's some layout components, HTML elements, content, data grid, table, columns. I use the columns here to split those things into 3 things. Also, there is some decision-making kind of processing element. Initializer, I use it now to set my default values. Decisions here, I can make micro decisions in hiding and showing things. Calculator, I use a calculator here to calculate values. So let's see what the whole thing does. Then I can walk you guys into what the demo is all about. So I'm attempting to load a site for us called like hits calculator. So now it's initiating. Usually it's going much faster than this. I'm just having some networking issue. One thing to note here, I'm running as an administrator because this is my dev environment. It gives me ability to change, emulate different users in the fly. I can even change my styling to whatever styling I want. So here I'm going to use a different style on the fly. But this stuff I set up earlier in my workflow. So here I switched my style on the fly to unqork v1, which I have no idea how it's going to look like. Now it's ugly. So I'm going to go back to v2, or I probably have to do demo. But let's, for argument's sake, leave it the way it is now in demo, in v2. Okay, so this is better. So I'm going to remove this for now. So let's say if I type a site, say Atlanta devtalk.com, and let's say we have 10 hits per day. See, I say like 10 per day. One day I have 10 number of hits. If I say give me the weekly, I get 70. It multiply it. If I say monthly, it give me it by 300. If I say quarterly, it will do the calculation. If I do yearly, it will give me the yearly calculation. And if I change the number here, automatically it will calculate things in a fly. So, and there is hide and hit. And okay, so, and I'll go later and see like, all I did is really simply, I dropped those controls and here. And also I can drop something called hitting element. So I have a hitting element here that have an image. So basically, I would say I want to hide and show these images on certain criteria. When they have certain numbers, I want to show and hide these panels, right? So I did the initiator basically to put to default the time to daily and put 0 for number. So how is that looking like? So if I go there to initiator, and so I say only initiate this action when there's a new submission. If there's a new thing, show it. I can say when edit, I want it to make it manual, meaning when I call you, you only do this action, or watch. Watch meaning there's anything change in the things that I care about in my input, then trigger the action. So here I was going to say, the initializer say like, if you see number of hits, default the value to 0. If you see the time, default the value time to 1, which is the daily. And that's all it does, just initializer. Then I can make more decision there. Almost like kind of resetting the new page when you come in. Then I have a calculator. And this is what it's going to do, like the numeric calculation on the fly. If I go here, I said I'm giving it an ID, calculate hits. I can give it a label. I can also do it as a watch or manual. Disable execution, I can do that. Prevent execution. Well, there's some few controls here I can use. But here I'm saying I'm looking at input and I'm manipulating outputs. So if my inputs, I say number of hits and time, these two things I'm looking for. you have to give it an alias. For example, the best convention is to give the component a lot of names. So calculate hits, maybe field, numeric. I'm just being lazy here and not giving the right name. And here I'm just have to give it a different alias. So in my formula calculation, I have to go and work with the alias, not the real numbers. Because look at it this way. This component, you're gonna look for input and gonna manipulate output. So if you give it the real number, it's gonna get confused. So just let's say for simplicity of design, they want it to happen this way. Your input have to be an alias. You do a formula, say a number of hits times the time value, and I'll go back to see like what is the time value. It's actually numeric numbers. So they will manipulate the property called total number. We'll replace that value with that. I have an image. I say like if numbers of hits bigger 1,000, enter a 20 for that image. If not, put a 10 if it's bigger than 1,000, or less than 1,000, and if it's bigger than 1,000, put a 20. Then this all it is. So I forgot to tell you guys. So I have to go back to time. What is time? Time is my drop down. I put here a value. I can say daily is number 1. Multiply by 1, weekly by 7, monthly by 30, quarterly there's 120 days, yearly 365. In normal, every 4 years it probably would be different, but it's 365 now. And I said, when when this happened, when I've changed the drop down, trigger the rule hits. So the rule calculation will happen every time I change the value. What's also, I can do URL. I can have this data doesn't have to be from a value, written value. I can have it from a URL or from a data that I store in unqork. So I have a choice of doing instead of each form have this data, I can just put it in the tables, unqork tables, and just reference to them. All right, so to keep you guys not lose your attention. So basically, a site name does nothing, but I put it in there, and this two field is involved with my calculation. You can see each component affecting this will have a hover text saying that, hey, this is affected by calc hits. This one being affected by initiate or manipulate by those things, and this one is said as well. So like I'm the result of this. So let's go to the rule of hits. So this is a micro decision saying, like, remember when I said like hit image, the hidden field? If I get a different number, a number larger than 1,000, then I want to put a value. If it's less than 1,000, I put a value in that hidden field called image. So here I have a calculation. I wanted to call it rule, hits rule. So I would say, let's do it, keep watching it, not manual. Right? Even though I was supposed to do manual because I kind of, made it as manual. So here I say, like, for my input, I want to see the image hidden field. Give me the exact value. But here I have different field. I could say, give me the range or contain that value. But I say, like, if image is an exact number of this, then I want the exact number from the input. So here would say, all right, so what should I do? I said, like, well, I have two outputs. I want to have a panel year and panel daily. I have two images. I want to switch between two images, and I want to play with their visibility. So I have a visibility property. So I manipulate the visibility, but I have other things. I can play with the value, maximum, all this stuff, but actually I just want to manipulate its visibility property. So now I know I have an input and I know what I manipulate output. So now I have a micro decision saying that, hey, for my input image, if the value is 10, I want visibility to be no, and that's why it's not working. The visibility for years, no, but for the yearly is yes, for example, yes. For if it's 20, then I want the yearly to be yes, but no for the daily. And here, if it's 0, anything out of range, I don't want to show anything, So we say no. Don't know. Okay, and this one is no. This is just false positive because I don't have these numbers. So what if I put here, instead of me saying save and go back and forth, I can test my decision here. I can say test decisions, and I put it 10, and I want to execute just to test that. 1, execute. If it's 10, it will give me this calculation. Okay, what if it's 20, right? So 20 is another valid number. So let me execute this. It uses the decision and say, yep, it's the opposite. So I should have my decision here made correctly. So here I have an initializer, give me the default number. I have a calculator that will calculate the number of hits multiplied by the whatever drop-down value in a drop-down and display it in the numeric hits part. There's a rule hit saying that, in certain rules, I want to hide and show these images. Okay, and now I drop the address here just for the heck of it, just to see how it looks like, right? So I saved it. I'm going to preview it. So I think I already have this open, so I need to refresh it. So I expect the defaults to be set back to 0 and daily. And I expect now to see my new address component. And let me just remove this option.
I'm impressed at how responsive it is.
So actually, even it's higher responsible from this one. It just my network is bad like now, but it's in real life it's like blazing fast. So let's say
it's really fast. I mean, for everything you're doing, and then for them to run those code snippets, pretty neat too.
Thank you, man. I think C20 went down. It's really, I'll be honest with you, it was a game changer for me. See now the backward decision executed. Weekly, I don't have a value. Daily, I should have a value, but I'm pretty sure I messed up. Oh, actually, the quarterly worked. See, it's above to 2400, so executed. So like, you know what? You have a high number. Then yearly, still have a high number. Weekly, nope, my number is not true. It's not. Did not hit it. Here, I have to go here until I hit the higher number. So that all these decisions can automatically calculate in the background. So let's do the address. So let's say 26, 27. See, it's actually autocomplete. It's actually gonna go and get you the real address here. As a matter of fact, guess what? I can manipulate this one and say like, what is this address about? Actually, sometimes it collects some data, more data. So I'm kind of tapping into the behind the scene. Let me see what is the data is about. So if I go back to, actually, you know what? Cancel. I'm going to clear this one. I have a cheat sheet. I'm going to go to Angular element. I'm looking for the unqork form, the scope, submission, data. So I'm looking here and I'm just saying like, what's going on here? I can see my image is 10, and I can manipulate it here to 20. My name is the one I entered, number of hits, this is the input, panel, shapes loaded, the address component. See, now I have a bigger address thing. Say object 126, this address component. Let me see what an address. I have long name, street name, Montgomery County. See, it's not only the address, I'm getting more data. I know it's in Montgomery County, in Kansas, in the United States, zip code, full zip code. Sometimes I even get information if that building has a rooftop pool or not. In the garage, I'll be honest with you, it gives you a lot of details automatically.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, you
rooftop, location type, rooftop. There is geometry, location, geocodes of the address. Yeah, it's a lot of details. So this quick components just pulled a lot of things for me. So imagine if I'm a developer and have to go with Google APIs and all this stuff, this component just give me everything. There's another component that if I get, it's a driver license component. If I took an image of a driver license, it reads the back of the driver license and pull all the information and fill a bunch of fields for you. So if you have like I'm using it here for maybe for my business that maybe I'm a dealership, car dealership or something like that. So say, Dom, show me your driver license, and I'll see your driver license, and automatically I can just take an image or scan it, or like if I have it in my cell phone, it will populate all this stuff. And actually, I can just show you guys like maybe the mobile display. So let's say I'm Pixel iPhone 6, 7. This is how it's gonna look like an iPhone. And if I change number here to different numbers, it's probably change the image, but it's mobile responsive by nature, unless you do something specific in installing to stop it from doing that. But see, the things will change almost automatically. So you guys see, like I can just build something real quickly. I built this literally 2 minutes before or 5 minutes before the podcast. Yeah, I didn't have an idea enough to sophisticated to do it, but you know, it lets you focus only in your problem domain and just don't worry about other things. And let's say I can change this to required. See, I made the name required. If I don't like to be required, I can go to this one. Let's say a business BA came to me, he's like, Ahmed, could you make this required? I said, okay, no problem. So by the way, look at this. I say autofill. I disabled the autofill. I'm going to enable it right now and show you guys what's the difference. So that's meaning basically the browser will remember my last number. I can make a maximum, minimum, not make it required, and save it. And now I have a field that is not required. And now the browser say like I can enable autofill. So basically, if I enter a value in that control before, now it's going to show in the drop down. Before I hide it because I just feel like it's not very clean. Every time you type something, you see your previous data. Not every control needs to remember your data, so it's already built in. So as it's thinking, or my network is struggling, waiting for Maps, Google. Okay, so see, it's actually using Google Maps, right, to get the address that we put in from Kansas. So, and actually, you put also Google tag. If you want to tag Google, you can do this. And also, I'll show you guys something else cool about it. So here, see, it's not required anymore. And if I hit, see, my autocomplete now dropped down. I don't have autocomplete here because I disabled it, but now it's working here. And I can limit characters. I can say only accept 15 characters. Like let's say tomorrow they come to you, Dom, say like, could you make this like limited to only 15? You go back there with not a thought. Even a BA can go there and say, hey, let's say no less than a 0 and no more than 5 characters, because you know that's the rule. The name is here, and you can change the rules just like that. And you know what? Say like
the BA could do it.
Yeah, no, actually, it's made for, they call it citizen development, right? So everybody can jump in and do something. Like, let's say, let's prefix it with DOM, right? And .com, you know? And what did I do here? I said autocomplete. Yeah, so let's say I want to disable that autofill, no more. Hide hypertext and all this stuff. I have a lot of things. I just saved it, changed it. And I'll be honest with you, I use it now for a demo. I can demo in a demo. The users will, or the dealers or account manager or customers say like, you know what, can we move this control around and all stuff? In a demo, I'm just using it almost like a mock-up. And later on, worry about changing the rules and stuff like that, but it's really responsive. And really make you quick. I mean, honestly, it just make you focus on the application, not to worry about, and actually there's a part, like I say, authentications and settings. So let me just, while this loading, go to that part. So probably should have, I'm gonna lose this one, never can come back to it. So let's see.
I'm impressed with Unqork. I mean, God, like just how responsive everything is, and when you think about the fact that it's running on a browser.
Exactly. Yep. And all the macro decision, you can go deeper. Yeah, like you should see my other ones. I have panels that have a lot of calculation, a lot of decisions. But to me, this is what makes it even exciting for me. So here I have my administration. I will go through all of them. So even my email template, so it has a built-in when user forget the password and all this stuff, reset the password. All this flow is built in. You don't have to do anything. If I want to change my template, I can go here. Forgot password. I changed my HTML template. I have some curly brackets to plug in some values. Email sent. I don't even have to build that feature into my site anymore. If I want to upload PDFs, which great, I need to show you guys this thing. I have PDF with fields, and automatically it filled the PDF with those fields with some component for PDF, and automatic generate for you, so you can create fancy documents on the fly. You can integrate with Service Administrator with APIs. You can add some external APIs into your into this unqork and start using it. You can just add new API for somebody else. See, there's multiple API here. We're OAuth because this is definitely a testing environment, and that's why things load here a little bit slower because it's full of everybody in the world dumping their data here. So here, the user group. I can tell, I can manipulate user, add user group, and all this stuff. But what's cool for me here, automatically I'm creating data in the user here. Of course, this is going to be a lot of lists. If let's say I have a bunch of users, I don't have to enter the names one by one. I can have a file that I pick up, and it has some plugin fields, and I'll populate a lot of user in 1 second, and I can export my list right now and have it export those users in my CSV file, manipulated. I can add attributes. For example, I can edit this dude, and I can say, like, let's say, in my case, I put hidden fields. For example, I want to know my client ID, my everything else. So when I add you here through my CSV file, I'll put some attributes into your account. So when my workflow triggers, I can know a lot of things about you without you knowing. So for example, the address that we put in, I can put it in an attribute or zip code. So when I'm running my calculation, I already have this information in your account. Okay, this because I have so many users here. But basically, I can have a bag of attributes, and once you log in, like for example here, I'll probably have to go back to this one, workflow, and remember when I pulled all this address and information, but also there's information about me, right? So sure, let's go back to the workflow. So I have a lot of attributes about me, my password, my bag of attributes, a lot of things about me. So everything can feel seamless in this environment. So and you can just quickly in weeks develop something that you will take months and months to develop. So and actually, it's, like you see, guys, so it's built in Angular. So I'm just pulling an Angular element to find something in a scope and submission data. Oh, and actually, I forgot to tell you guys. So I can store my submission data in their temporary database, right? And I can manipulate that data in so my workflow has a start, end, and one component. I might have multiple components, and there's something called the swim lane. So for example, I don't want to lose this here, but let's say if I want to go to my workflow, so here, and excuse my network, I think this is going slow, but I have something called swim lanes, and each swim lane can have certain user that can access it. So I can run an API in another like backend processors and something called the swim lane in my workflow, and that will basically run all my APIs. all right? And I can say if Dom has a level account as an admin, he can go through the entire process. But if Steven got in, Steven can only manipulate data, but not execute certain things in the application. I can do it in a component settings level, or I can put it in a workflow level. So here I can see have settings, security, enable load, translation. I can just role-based security, turn it on, and manipulate the security here. Also, like I forgot to tell you guys, the Google tag, I was going to show you the Google tags and the SSO integration. So if you have an SSO and you have your SAML, you sometimes, actually it's pretty cool. You just dump your SAML and it will fill up all the provider information and all you need. As a matter of fact, in my SAML for SSO, I passed some data attributes about certain my customer. You can add the same thing here in unqork. So it's pretty really useful tool. The only thing I cannot speak about is how much it costs in real life. That's something with pricing you have to figure out. But it's very useful, man. I mean, this is now the entire world is using this one. That's why it's kind of irresponsible. Like, yeah, okay, so this is my user thing. See all these groups, and that's why it took a lot of load. Here I can add my custom attributes. I can say dealer ID if I have a dealer, and add custom value attribute, and here then I give it a value, and it's usually faster, but this is so here I can say dealer ABCD, this number, numeric thing, and save changes. So I can pick this up later when I log in with this account, and in this screen I can pick up here, for example, even this the internet. I need to be careful because I probably don't want to show my data information because it's going to show my because it's going to have my IP address and everything else and some stuff. But basically, it's going to have a bag of all my information, everything about me. So when I log in here, I don't have to ask the users a lot of questions. I already set up this information once, and I don't need to repeat my flow. So, and you can see it's very clean. It works with mobile-friendly views and everything else, and it's very quick to develop. I mean, once you pick up and know, there's a learning curve. Of course, there's a lot of controls and a lot of things, and it's not like code. You say like hide this. You have to go to the micro decision kind of control and do all this stuff. But basically, it's a very quick tool to do a lot of things quickly. And honestly, the use of it for me is like, let's say you build something for a customer or for your business, and you want to support and they want to change something quickly. Instead of bugging you, saying like, Steve or Dom, go ahead and do this for me. Nope. You know, you can tell like, you know what do you want? Making this required field. This is how you do it. And you know, you can take them to training. They have a 3 boot camp. So I'll be honest with you, the real thing, you're probably going to build it and let the business support it, right? Then you can focus in bigger project or bigger fish, the APIs and the backend. So everything we do is now API heavy, right? So the UI can be handled here, right? So when you spend your time building a fancier API, and if you have like there's some tools, I bet you in the business cannot use this thing, more complicated. But I'll be honest with you, I'm looking to a lot of things in my business now and saying like, you know, I can build anything here. Everything can build it in unqork. And it's cloud-based, so I can promote it to production very easily. And I can pick and choose like data, styles, components, workflow. I can be very picky with what I can promote. And everything is encrypted, and database, you know, is hash codes and everything else. So it follow all the standards for security, so it's easier to do a pin test or pass any security like requirement. So that's the demo.
Do they provide access to their database?
No, they don't. So they don't for security reason, but there's tools. So there's a plugin for they will give you a plugin for Chrome, and if you are in the edit mode here, you can see a few things. You can see the log file, or you can see the submission. So if somebody submits something in your workflow, you can see what they submitted, the payload, the response, and the requests, and all the stuff. But you won't have you're not even able to know the database table or anything like that. They have plugins to share. They share that data through some APIs, and they limit what you can see. But everything to you is just a platform as service, you know. So
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes separate the data.
Mm-hmm.
very good.
Make it difficult to get to. I get it.
It's an interesting tool, Ahmed. I won't lie. It's interesting. I like myself professionally. I don't know if I would ever want to use it, but I can see where definitely the value of being able to quickly give something over to like a BA and be like, here you go, I've given you a tool of something that you can use to do what you want.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of just letting people make willy-nilly changes to stuff that then it's going to go live into production, like changing fields around and stuff, because then there's no change management, there's no release management, and then you're just creating a headache for your IT department, unless it's there and you just didn't show it off.
Yep, but that's an entire. So that's I was worried about that, but that's not entirely true. So they have a sandbox, right? You have your development environment, and you're going to still have your QA guys and all this stuff. They cannot promote it to another environment unless you tell them so. And if you don't like something they put in, you have the history here, and you go to the history and say like, you know what, I'm reverting all your changes here to the older value. Oh, actually, I'm not sharing my screen. So
I was like, you're not sharing. I'm looking at you right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at.
Okay, sounds good. So I went here to the history and just saw all the changes I made, and I can revert to anything here. So let's say Ahmed did some few changes. I don't like it. I'm gonna go to that date. I want to restore to that version. So the BA come in and do all the work and all the stuff. So it still is gonna go through the. Oh, I didn't share it, right? Okay, let me share it.
There you go.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So this is I went to the history preview, and I said like, I don't like what Ahmed did here till 742. I can click here and say like, you know what, I'm gonna restore to that version, right? And I can preview it, compare it to the last one, copy this version somewhere else, but I can have a control here of what I want, and I'm not gonna promote this till my QA team is happy. So for example, I'm a developer, so I'm very busy. I give him some quick form to fill up an order, right? And I give him an API and say like, you know what, film this order and it's gonna be an API and this is the form. And they want to change how things lay out and all this stuff, and can we do this? Can we add this? They can do all the stuff, and but still it's gonna go through a QA cycle and all the stuff. And if you're happy, then you can promote it. You can go to the admin, promote it to the next environment. If you're not happy with it, you can revert it to whatever setback changes, or you can copy the components. So if I can copy, or okay, I can just cancel this one. So history. Okay, sure. I cancel this one. Go to my components, for example. Okay, well, this thing is slow today. Okay, so compare, restore, here, preview. What I'm trying to say here that you can also copy it, not here only, you can copy it from any component you open. For example, let's go to workspace beta.
Now, is Unqork its own company, or are they a subsidiary of someone?
I think it's owned, it's owned by a group of companies, and I forgot the name of the group, but it's publicly owned. And actually, they really got popular because of COVID. A lot of companies wanted to do a first response kind of application very quickly, and some of them are medical, right? So they have to follow all the HIPAA standard and all this privacy and everything else. You cannot build something really quick and get approved by, if you have security standards and everything else, unless you have something like unqork. So they got really popular, but the owners, I need to go back and see who owns them. There's a company that owns these people. They're based out of New York right now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'll show you guys later sometimes because it seemed like it's, oh, there you go, a little bit. Coming slowly but surely. But I was going to say, like, you can always copy anything you want here. Well, these things are spinning. But, you know, like, I'll show you guys later, but you can always copy anything you want and make a copy of it. And you can let them play with the copy, not the original. Mm-hmm. And you can restore back to whatever version you want. But it's a sandbox, right? So, so this is the swim lane I told you guys about, right? So this is swim lane from my backend API, and this is my front end. For example, I can make it that way. I can have authenticated user only see this one. I can see, but this one I can have a restriction of who can do things here. So there's a way to kind of isolate your workflow. But the application is well thought out, I think, and they have a philosophy and everything else. So, you know, I was not a believer till I stopped playing with it and said, you know. And I think this is the general thing, even in our development now. I mean, the custom dev application, we want to get to, we build sometimes building blocks, right? Like SSO, single sign-on libraries, and we want to use them. And sometimes you build data access layer to connect to Postgres or SQL Server or something like that. And you don't want to start from scratch every time in each project. And actually, even in UI, we have micro UI, right? You build a component, you can make it an NPM package in your own local kind of storage. You share it with the team, other teams. So this thing's just almost like that. You don't have to worry about a lot of the implementation details. You can focus in the actual app, and you can build it quickly. And if you're busy and you have so many projects, I mean, you can just say, this project, I don't need to go and do a Vue.js for it or do it in React. I can just do unqork for it. It's of course expensive. It's not a cheap product, so it's not like, you know.
When I looked into this is geared more towards enterprise development.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this isn't something for smaller companies.
Yeah.
And it was definitely for someone like the size of NCR or Georgia Pacific, where it's just like, I don't know, like we really didn't go into all the stylings and the UI elements. I don't know if this would ever be something that I would want, like, the customers to see, but like internal tooling all day. No,
actually, there's a styling too. There is a styling.
I saw something there very quickly, but you didn't go over it.
No, yeah. So, and actually, the styling, I haven't played with it much, but you can change the styling and make it professional. But I would say, like, it's almost like a set of styles, right? And actually, it uses Bootstrap and something else. So, but I'll be honest with you, I don't want to customize it that much because I already have that clean and mobile kind of enabled thing. So I'll play with the images and backslash, but you know, I kind of like their simplest default thing, and I'll probably we just go a little bit, make the login page look exactly like splash screen with user ID and CAPTCHA.
Well, Ahmed, when we start the Atlanta Design Talk podcast, we'll talk about why what you just said was wrong.
What? Why? Okay, I can't wait for next episode 10. We're gonna talk in 10, right?
We're not talking. This is the Dev podcast.
No, yeah, exactly. All right, sounds good. Yeah, but you know, for Debbie's.
But anyway, like I said, I can't believe you wanted to show a product on this show that we don't even get money for.
No,
I'm taking away from developers.
from developers.
Basically, that's what you just showed right there. Is cool. Look, companies, you don't need developers. Your BAs can do this, and then the BAs are going to be like, we don't want to do this shit.
No, exactly.
And
So
then your developer's going to be like, we don't want to use that because that limits what we can do, our creativity, man. You're putting this inside of a box. That's not how I think, man. I like to think outside the box. Why I shift some paradigms and create some synergy. That's what I want. And you gave me this. You know what? Cork it up and send it out.
correction, pull the video, Jamie. No, so actually, yeah, exactly. But well, there's a lot of things behind the scene, like APIs and all the stuff that developers need to do.
I mean, I think it's neat. I think it's
I
think it's kind of the direction that like CRMs are going.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's like that's kind of like a CRM CMS kind of all in one.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that too.
My two questions would be, one, is it hosted on its own cloud or is it hosted in another cloud?
That's what I was going to ask. Like, do you have to do everything on unqork's cloud, like as a true platform, or is it something that would be installed on-prem and then somebody would access? It would be installed locally, so it would be like, instead of you would be like, Dom's like, oh cool, I want to do something in unqork. Well, we have our copy of our license installed in our cloud.
No.
You know, you're still going to our URL to get to the unqork instance.
No, it's a platform as a service. You don't host anything. Everything is on their cloud, which kind of surprised me, right? Because
some of
They
that.
have their own cloud.
huh?
They have their own cloud, uncorked.
Did they do it? You checked out? And what's
No, I'm asking.
No. I think they use like AWS or Amazon, but like the public cloud. Something. I need to double check on that one and see for sure. I'm just speaking out of ass here, but I know they're hosting their. I mean, I'm pretty sure they use the Amazon backend, but I will double check. I don't know. I should say I don't know yet.
I would be surprised that if they are going after more enterprise level clients, that they'd be like, yeah, you're going to do all your development in our cloud and we're going to host all that. Whereas like, you know, some bigger companies are like, no, we like what your product and we want it in our cloud as well. Like, you know, how do we, that's what
Easy. API, you host it in your cloud, and through here you set up your services. Remember when I said like there's a data inside of, there's three type of data, you can just make it API. All the drop down, everything else can be in a data from API. But we had the same issue here, saying that this one is built in unqork. If there's a drop down, there's data that I don't need to repeat, call an API for. It's a lot easier to let the unqork itself to pick up that data, drop down values, stuff like that. Let them host the users and all this stuff, information. But if I'm doing like ratings or some business calculation or something sensitive, I can have my API and connect the services there and protect your data. You can encrypt it, decrypt it, whatever you want to do, but and actually I think it forces you to have SSL connection, I think, and things like that.
So what if you wanted to design your own custom component for unqork?
You can, technically. I mean,
I don't want technically. I want to.
No, so I would say it's not. You can do a module, and actually you say. So they even told me, say like if you create a tool for us, so I can look at the API for create user logs and all this stuff, and I can create a component. I think they call it template. I can create a template, and they can use it. But if like I think what he's saying, like what if you want to make a decision? Remember, there's a macro decision.
No, this isn't even like, it's not really out because like when you keep talking about like decisions and stuff like that, I think more workflow.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things, which maybe the workflows are what's, you know, driving all the decisions that happen on the page of like this gets rendered here and this gets rendered there, and that seems like that's the core functionality of there. So I don't know, but
no, but I don't think it's open source where you can create your own components like that.
I think that's what you're saying. It's not open source, so it's like it can't be extended by anyone. It wouldn't be open source because it sounds like you got to have a license to use it.
No, exactly. But actually, that's another code, right?
So it just sounds like you are anti-open source now, Ahmed.
No.
Voted off the island. Take that shirt off.
Listen to me. So what if the community opened an open source no-code solution, right? So let's say the address component, right? Or let's say tool or whatever. You build it and they accept it, and now it's built up in like an open source kind of solution that you can set up anywhere and say like, I already get built up this solution for this. If you want to, let's say hardware, you want to plug in a printer or a scanner or something like that hardware. You said like, I have a component, I have Java level kind of code to it, and you can drop this in the form, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Everything is in that code. Sure. If there's an open source code for this, that can be a good platform from scratch. I mean, everybody can contribute to it, and it will be a platform. But that will be like, then you go back to the framework thing like Angular. Because Angular,
you said this was built on top of Angular, right?
Yeah, this built in Angular, and this
is built on top of Angular, and Angular is a framework where a lot of those decisions, like that you and I had struggled with at NCR with, like co-op and this and that, and like all that's built into Angular, so those decisions are decided for you.
Yeah.
When it sounds like the company behind Unqork just took that another layer, another step further. You're like, cool. And it sounds like maybe that was one of the reasons why they went with Angular. They're like, oh, if you want to work with APIs, here's what we built on top of. You want to work with SSO? Boom, we've got you. You want to connect to hardware devices? We've got that too. Automatically sending emails. Like, I think there's a lot of that was built into Angular, and then it sounds like they just kind of filled in the gaps they needed.
Yeah.
For that.
Exactly. So exactly, like you have a control that already have properties for defaults and min max, maximum character, autofill, all this kind of things. They just made it to you like a menu. You can just select, check or whatever, and it will generate it for you. So I'm pretty sure. So everything, by the way, generate in a JSON format, and they have a decision engine or a translation engine that will translate that to UI. So
5 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds like we gotta wrap it up.
All right, cool, man. So thank you very much, guys, for watching my demo about unqork.
Very nice demo.
Very nice. Yes, Makash, whatever that.
You're letting it die, Ahmed. You gotta finish it.
No, guys. Say it. No. Start over again. I missed it. Say it. Repeat.
The show.
The show. Okay, repeat again. I forgot. So usually, that's Steven.
Welcome to
the 9th
episode.
That's what we were trying to finish.
There we go. All right, sounds good. Well, in this case, we have to have a closing too. Like, what would be?
Thanks for watching
the 9th
episode.
Yay! Nice demo, Ahmed. That was very informational.
That was really well done.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week or the 10th episode. Right? Be there.
We'll get to it. We'll get to that 10th. That's a milestone.
I bet you. All right, guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time. You too.
Bye.
Salute.
That's a nice shirt.
All right.
I don't know.
Perfect.
After 8 days.